The Trump administration says that everyone is on the same page over Iran. But over the past weeks, two of its most senior foreign policy voices have sounded very different. Vice President JD Vance has been defending the new US-Iran memorandum of understanding. Secretary of State Marco Rubio has been reassuring America's Gulf allies and taking a harder line on Tehran. Both say they are following President Donald Trump's lead. The question is whether they are pushing the same policy from different directions or exposing a deeper divide inside the administration. Here's what happened. Trump signed an MOU with Iran.
I'm very happy to say it's signed, the deal's all signed, and the strait is already partially opened. As you know, they're doing a little hunting for a couple of mines that they've already found, but it's essentially ships are starting to go out now. On Friday, it'll be completely open.
The agreement is meant to end months of war and give Washington and Tehran 60 days to reach a final deal. Vance led the talks with Iranian officials in Switzerland and has described the process as promising. But his strongest comments were aimed at Israel, which has publicly opposed the MOU.
What is your exact proposal? And, you're a country of 9 million people. You can't just kill your way out of solving every single national security problem that you have. Look at what we've accomplished. First of all, Americans have protected a lot of Israeli lives through our missile systems and through our missile programs over the last few months. We have destroyed their nuclear program. We have got the Iranians in a point where they're offering things, again, whether they'll actually act on them, we'll see, but they're offering things that would have been the stuff of dreams even 6 months ago. So let us play this negotiation out. Let us see if the Iranian actions actually meet the Iranian words, and give a little bit of credit to the United States of America, which I think has been an incredible partner for the Israeli government for a long time.
That is an unusually blunt language from a US vice president about Israel. Vance has also warned Israeli officials not to attack Trump, saying the US president remains one of Israel's few powerful allies at a time when it is facing global criticism over Gaza, Lebanon, and the war with Iran. Trump himself has criticized Israeli strikes on civilian buildings in Lebanon, saying Israel does not need to bring down an apartment block every time it is looking for someone.
Israel's fighting Hezbollah too long, and too many people are being killed. And you don't have to knock down an apartment house every time you're looking for somebody, because there are a lot of people in those apartment houses, and they're not all Hezbollah, that I can tell you. And I suggested to Israel to let Syria take care of Hezbollah. Because to be honest with you, I think they do a better job of doing it.
Since March 2nd, Israeli attacks on Lebanon have killed more than 4,000 people and displaced around 1.2 million, according to Lebanon's health ministry. Rubio has taken a different route. During his Gulf trip, he avoided direct criticism of Israel and defended its military campaign in Lebanon as a response to Hezbollah attacks. His focus was on reassuring US allies in the Gulf, some of whom worried that Iran's deal may be too generous to Tehran. Rubio said the US wants a deal, but not at any price.
To us. For while we want a deal, we don't want a deal at any price. We want a deal that's good, we want a deal that's real, we want a deal that's verifiable, and we want a deal that's adhered to. And it is important that any agreements that are reached, both in the process of negotiation and in the aftermath, be adhered to and followed. But there are certain things that for us are important to point out now that will never be acceptable. The first is the Straits of Hormuz are international waters. International waterways do not belong to any nation state. This is a foundational principle in the world today, without which the world would be in total chaos.
He also warned that the Strait of Hormuz cannot be controlled by one country. Strait is critical because around 1/5 of the global energy supplies pass through it. Just days after the MOU was signed, the US and Iran exchanged strikes over control of the waterway. Now, both sides are expected to hold technical talks to ease tensions there. The difference between Vance and Rubio is the clearest on Iran. Vance has spoken about the possibility of a more cooperative US-Iran relationship.
And American leadership met at such a high level. What the president has asked us to do is turn over a new leaf, to transform our relationship with the people of Iran and to extend an outstretched hand that says to the people of Iran that if your leadership is willing to give up being a driver of regional instability, if they are willing to give up nuclear weapons ambitions for the long term, then the United States is willing to fundamentally transform our relationship with that country. That is certainly our goal. We've already made great progress over just the last few hours. and I expect that we'll make additional progress in the hours to come.
He has also stepped back from earlier demands to destroy Iran's ballistic missile capabilities, saying no country can be told that it has no right to self-defense. Rubio has kept the pressure on Tehran. He has said Iran will not be allowed to charge tolls or fees for ships passing through the Strait of Hormuz.
It's an international waterway. No country is allowed to charge tolls or fees on an international waterway. That's existing international law. That's the way it is in international waterways all over the world, and that's the way we expect it'll be here. So I don't think we have anybody to convince around here in that regard. I think all the countries in this region would agree with us.
He has also helped lead a separate Israel-Lebanon framework aimed at ending the war there. Hezbollah and Iran have already rejected that deal, saying the US-Iran MOU already covers an end to hostilities in Lebanon. So is this a real split? The White House says no. A spokesperson said there is only one camp, Trump's camp. The State Department also rejected talk of a divide, and Rubio has said everyone is aligned behind the president. But the speculation is not random. Vance and Rubio come from different wings of the Republican Party. Vance built his political identity around opposition to long wars and expensive US interventions abroad.
When I was a senior in high school, that same Joe Biden supported the disastrous invasion of Iraq, and at each step of the way, in small towns like mine in Ohio, or next door in Pennsylvania or Michigan. In states all across our country, jobs were sent overseas and our children were sent to war.
Rubio has made his name as a Senate hawk, pushing tougher positions on Iran, Russia, and Cuba. Now, both men are trying to sell Trump Iran's policy to different audiences. Vance is defending the deal to Trump's base and pushing back against Israeli criticism. Rubio is calming US allies in the Gulf and keeping pressure on Tehran. For now, that may be a coordinated strategy, but the next 60 days will test it. If the final Iran deal stalls, if Israel keeps resisting, or if tensions rise again in the Strait of Hormuz, the difference in tone may become harder to contain. For more such explainers, subscribe to DawnNews English.